welcome to the Badass Breastfeeding Podcast. This is Dianne, your lactation consultant.
And I'm Abby, the Badass Breastfeeder, and today's episode is brought to you by RumbleTough. The RumbleTough Breeze is a top-of-the-line breast pump with a rechargeable battery that fits in the palm of your hand. Today's episode is also brought to you by Larkin, and Larkin is a mom-owned line of game-changing maternity and postpartum essentials designed to make your life a little more easy and comfortable. We'll hear more from our sponsors later, but you can head to badassbreastfeedingpodcast.com and check out our sponsor page. See if you can give them any of your business because they make this podcast possible. And while you're there, scroll down and enter your email address and we'll send episodes straight to your inbox every week. And check out our shop page. Please, someone just check out our shop page. Validate me.
I know.
And we are on Patreon. Please come and join us over there as well. We have little mini video podcasts of demos and such. We have extra episodes, Zoom hangouts. We have Revolution Parenting episodes of that podcast that we were doing for a while that we stopped doing. We'll be posting those episodes over there. You can check out all of the options of the tiers. There's different tiers you can choose from. At Badass Breastfeeding Podcast at Patreon. And you need the direct link, and that is in the notes under the episode, wherever you're listening from. Just scroll down. You'll see the link right at the top. Or you can head to badassbreastfeedingpodcast.com, and the link will be over there as well on our wall of fame. And we are still doing our ongoing giveaway for people who leave reviews on iTunes or other podcast apps where you can post a review or stars or anything. Send us a screenshot along with your address, and we will send you a goodie bag of stickers and empowerment cards. And you can send that to badassbreastfeedingpodcast@gmail.com. And we forgot to talk about us being in Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
We are going to be in Detroit on some day in May.
The weekend of the 5th.
Hold on. Yes. The weekend of the 5th. We will be there on the 7th is Babies and Bumps from 11 to 4. We will be there at a table, hopefully saying hello to a bunch of badasses. So please come and see us. We do have some tickets to give away. And so we will be figuring out a way to have a little, a little competition, a little contest, a little giveaway somehow for that. And if enough people are going to come, we're going to do like a meet and greet on Saturday.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So let us know, or I don't know how we find that out. Oh, I'll post it on social media. We can start like a conversation at the Badass Breastfeeder on Instagram or Facebook or something. I'll put it both places.
Cool.
If you visit those places. And now Dianne has our review of the week.
Yes, it's from my spirit animal. Older Than Dust, it's called. Yes. I was first certified as an IBCLC in 2000. I was 2008, for anybody that is wondering. And most days I feel older than dust. My kids are now 25 and 20. Mine are 20 and 22. And although I nursed them both, I nursed all three, it was so very long ago. However, the bond I have with my children is undeniable and precious to me. And I believe this bond has its roots in breastfeeding. I'm so thankful to the women, nurses, and IBCLCs that supported my journey. I listen to your podcast twice a day, 4 days a week, driving to and from work during a 45 to 60-minute commute. I'm the only nurse and lactation consultant for 4 pregnancy centers in 3 counties. I have the joy and pleasure to work with pregnant and lactating women from 5 weeks pregnant to 18 months after delivery. My clients are amazing and teach me more than I offer them. Your podcast is a consistent source of encouragement and laughter to me. Thank you for your commitment to supporting breastfeeding women. Well, thank you to your commitment supporting breastfeeding women, because 4 pregnancy centers in 3 counties is a lot. And the fact that you are able to work with these parents from 5 weeks pregnant to 18 months after delivery is amazing. And I love wherever you are that has that kind of a program, because that is just fantastic. And I mean, I agree too that I really feel like I learned so much from my families. And it really, it's very, it's very fulfilling. And I remember the people that helped me along the way too. There wasn't many, but I do remember the ones that did. There really was
Shout
not
out
many.
my haters.
I know. I made it anyway. So there, even without your help, bitches. But it really was, you remember the people along the way. So I think you're doing wonderful things. So thank you so much for being part of this, being part of this with us.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that there's a little video of Cardi B going around where I think she was accepting like a Grammy or something like that? And she was like, and I would also like to thank my haters because and she starts laughing.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I love it so much.
Oh, I swear. I feel like that.
Yeah.
They're out there. They are out there. So thank you so much for writing in. I appreciate it. Yeah. So today,
we're going to talk about pregnancy today because we talked about trying to conceive while breastfeeding a couple of weeks ago. So now you're all pregnant. So we're going to talk about how it's going to be breastfeeding now while you're pregnant. And then in a few weeks, I think we're going to talk about what it's like breastfeeding, tandem breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Because you are all following our podcast schedule. I hope. That was the deal.
Yeah.
So I would like to start off by saying that I did breastfeed while I was pregnant, which was something I planned. I wanted to tandem nurse. So the pregnancy was planned. My first was around he was 2 in a couple of months when I got pregnant. And we breastfed through. We tandem nurse for decades. What it felt like.
What it felt like.
And I think we'll just start from the beginning. So we can start with some misunderstandings or some misinformation, which is how we love to start.
Yeah.
Start and end.
Are you going to start with saying that you actually can breastfeed while you're pregnant? Because so many doctors still say, no, you cannot.
Yeah. Yes. So many doctors will say that you cannot. And what I've seen lately, I've gotten several messages about this, is that doctors will actually go so far as to say that you caused your miscarriage because you were still breastfeeding while you were pregnant. And there is absolutely zero science to support that.
Right.
Zero. In fact, breastfeeding does cause uterine contractions. This is something that is why it's so important to breastfeed after you have your baby, because these uterine contractions help your uterus go back to its normal size. And so they're very helpful. They are actually, in reality, so small that you don't usually feel them. I know some people right after birth sometimes say they feel them, but you generally don't feel them. And so the old science says that because it causes uterine contractions, that if you are breastfeeding while you are pregnant, this can cause miscarriages. And nowadays, experts in the field of miscarriage and, this type of specialty will say that we do not believe that there is a connection here. So it's not just me who's saying that this isn't true because I breastfed while I was pregnant, so therefore everybody's wrong. That's not what I'm saying. This is actually what experts in this field are saying, is that this is not related.
It is not related.
Say something? Okay.
No, and the only thing I was going to say about it was that the reason why you're feeling now is not, well, like you said, you might not feel those contractions, but it is oxytocin that's releasing in your system. That's what it is. It's oxytocin, the hormone oxytocin. Oxytocin is present with breastfeeding. It's, released with that nipple stimulation of breastfeeding. It's linked with uterine contractions. That's what Pitocin is. When they give you Pitocin to help your body contract when you're in labor, that's synthetic oxytocin. Oxytocin helps your body kind of have this baby, but oxytocin is present in lots of different ways, and it's present with breastfeeding. It's present with sex. So if they tell you you can't breastfeed during pregnancy, then don't have sex during pregnancy either, because it's present then too. So
yeah, that's what I was going to say. So I mean, these uterine contractions actually happen in all kinds of ways, not just with breastfeeding, but orgasm causes uterine contractions too. And there are people who are of such high risk pregnancy that they will say no sex, no breastfeeding, no, all of these things. And these experts will still tell you they're not sure that there is a link. They still don't believe that there is a link. But when you are in such a high risk if you have such high risk pregnancies, I imagine it's fine with everyone involved to take all the precautions that we can.
And we're talking you're on bed rest. Like,
yes,
it's not just,
you do not just have a no breastfeeding, directive. You have a whole list of things that you cannot do, that they'll ask you, that they'll tell you, you shouldn't be doing. So if you just go to a doctor and you're just like, no, you can't breastfeed, it'll cause miscarriages. That's not true. That's not true, because these same uterine contractions happen in other ways, like having an orgasm. So, that's just not, it's not a far leap to understand why they believe this. Of course, it causes uterine contractions. Oh, we found that out. Oh, wow, that's so interesting. Well, that must cause miscarriages too. I mean, it's not the biggest leap, but
right.
it's not supported by anything.
Mm-mm.
So that is that on uterine contractions and breastfeeding.
So now that we've taken that away, we know it's safe to do during pregnancy. Yes. You are safe to breastfeed during pregnancy.
There are more things that people say happen. They'll tell you also that you can't breastfeed while you're pregnant because it takes the nutrients away from the fetus. That is not true.
False.
There is no way. First of all, there are so many things wrong with that. Like, it's like as if your vital nutrients are being sucked out of your nipples.
Or that your body can only provide for one.
I mean, right. Yeah. Your body can provide for as many people as we need. And your nutrients, all the vitamins and nutrients that you need to be alive are not just stored in your breast, ready to be sucked out by like some, murderous toddler who's trying to kill his little sibling. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. And we had a listener recently who sent an email who said that when we say it's not a thing, that she sometimes wished we would expand on that. So I want to say in detail how this is not a thing. Your milk that is stored in your breasts is the breast milk that is made for breastfeeding. All the nutrients that are made for your fetus to be taken care of are stored in your body and are passed through the placenta, through the umbilical cord to your fetus. These two things are unrelated bodily functions. There is no way that your your toddler is sucking these nutrients away from the fetus.
Mm-mm.
Also, nursing through, I'm sorry, my family is upstairs, like, jamming.
How fun.
You can hear that. I'm just going to, like, shut that door. So the what was I saying?
Oh, about the nutrients.
The nutrients. Okay. So they do not take the nutrients away from the baby. No.
Mm-mm.
They also do not take the colostrum away from the baby.
Yeah, that's a big one that comes up too.
Yeah, that's like, well, if your toddler is nursing all the way through your pregnancy, then when the baby gets here, there's not going to be any more colostrum.
That comes up too with antenatal expression. People will be like, well, will there be colostrum there? Yes, your body's making it. Your body's making it from like 16 weeks pregnant on. Like, It's not like you only get one shot and that's it.
Yeah. Well, it's just like the breast, right? There's no such thing as an empty breast.
Right.
Your body is constantly making milk. It's not like you just drank all this, the milk. Your baby drank all the milk out of the breast, and your body's going to make more. Your body makes more colostrum, just like it makes more breast milk.
Mm-hmm.
Think about, again, I like to talk about people that have twins and triplets. Dianne had twins.
I did.
There was plenty of, it's not like the body just had enough colostrum for one and like too bad the other one.
Right.
Two babies were in there and then came out and started drinking colostrum. And then so the body was like, okay, we need enough colostrum for two babies.
Right. Totally works.
Mm-hmm. I think the perspective, especially of the uterine contractions causing a miscarriage, I don't think people understand how much your body protects a fetus.
Right.
Your uterus is just a very, very protected place. And when you have a miscarriage, we don't always know why there is a miscarriage.
Right. Yeah, we don't.
But what we do know is that it is not something that you did.
Mm-mm.
It's not something that you made happen. It's not like a choice that you made or you did too many jumping jacks or whatever. That's not how your uterus works. Your uterus is designed to protect the fetus inside against a lot of trauma. And if there is a miscarriage, your body has decided that it cannot carry that baby for some reason. It's not something you did.
Mm-mm.
Point blank. It is not something that you did. And there are doctors going around telling people this, and they don't understand how much they are affecting someone's entire life by feeling like they caused a miscarriage. They caused the loss of their own baby. It's just disgusting. And they shouldn't be even allowed to say shit like that.
No, it's awful.
Okay, we'll be back, I think, after a break.
Yeah.
All right. Today's episode is brought to you by Rumble Tough. The Rumble Tough Breeze is a top-of-the-line breast pump with a rechargeable battery that fits in the palm of your hand. The powerful motor lasts 2,000 plus hours and has a 2-year warranty. The memory button allows you to record your most effective pumping session and recall it every time you wish. Combine the Breeze with the Rumble Tough Go cups and you're pumping hands-free and on the go. Every Rumble Tough pump user qualifies for free pumping support with an IBCLC. Because they care, each pump comes with a manual handle kit to convert your electric pump into a manual pump at no extra cost. You should not have to figure it out alone. Let the experts help you get the support you deserve. Additionally, every pump box includes a flange fit ruler, so you can decide which of the 15 flanges they offer will fit you best. Yes, nipple size does matter. Check out their entire line at rumbletuff.com. That's RUMBLETUFF. Rumbletuff.com. And use code BADASS for 20% off of your purchase. And today's episode is also brought to you by Larkin. Larkin is a mom-owned line of game-changing maternity and postpartum essentials designed to make your life easier and more comfortable. In particular, their Larkin X all-in-one nursing and hands-free pumping bra is a totally different take on the traditional nursing and pumping bra. The first of its kind is made without any irritating elastic, awkward holes, snaps, zippers, clips, or other hardware, so you can comfortably wear it day and night without ever having to change bras to pump or nurse. And I know you're wondering how in the world there could be a nursing bra that doesn't have holes, snaps, zippers, or clips or anything. But there is, and you have to check it out because it's awesome. It's buttery soft, stretchy fabric. It won't irritate or stick to your sensitive skin, and it's machine washable. Check out the Larkin X bra and the rest of their incredibly cozy must-haves at shoplarkin.com. That's SHOPLARKEN.com. or you could check them out on Instagram, Larkin_shop, and use code BADASS for 10% off of your purchase. And our sponsors and the promo codes can be found in our show notes under this episode, wherever you're listening from, and also at badassbreastfeedingpodcast.com. At badassbreastfeedingpodcast.com, you'll also find all of our other episodes and information about scheduling your very own one-on-one online lactation consultation with Dianne. Back to nursing while pregnant. So now that we've pushed away the most common myths. So now you're pregnant. You're like, okay, it's safe to nurse, and you're going to keep nursing. So here's some of the things that are going to go on. Your milk supply will drop. And I know this is a surprise to many people as well. They're like, I am pregnant and I'm nursing my older child and my milk supply is dropping. What can I do to increase my milk supply? And I'm really sorry to say that there is not much you can do. There's not anything you can do as far as I know.
No, it's hormonal.
Yeah.
And there's really no ways to change that.
And this is what we mean. Your body is going to take care of this fetus. It doesn't care that there is a older baby or a toddler nursing. Your body's like, we're pregnant. We're shutting it down. We need to take care of this fetus. This is why also it doesn't make any sense that you making these simple decisions can cause a miscarriage because your body just wouldn't have it. Your body is taking care of this fetus, whether you want it or not. So yes, your body starts to decrease the milk supply so that it can start making colostrum for this new baby. This is also why your period is delayed. So that your babies are spaced in a way where all the babies can get the breast milk that they need until they are a certain age, usually over 1, hopefully over 1. If you are breastfeeding and you find yourself pregnant with a baby that is under 1 year of age, depending on where you are with that, you are going to need to find donor milk or formula because your baby needs to have those nutrients that are inside of breast milk or inside of formula or somebody else's breast milk until they are 1. So I know this is a panic time for some people who find themselves pregnant when they are 6, 7 months pregnant. I mean, 6 or 7 months postpartum. And you find yourself pregnant and you're like, oh God, my milk supply is dropping. I still have a baby. What am I going to do? And you will need to find a way of supplementing. Your body is going to go through the same changes that it always goes through. Your breasts are going to become very sore and tender. And you will have somebody who's nursing from those poor, poor, tender, sore breasts. And that is not fun. Nursing aversion is something that's came in for me at this time. A lot of times my child, and I know a lot of other children, will continue to nurse, but when there is a dip in the supply, they may decrease the frequency that they're nursing. Some people that want a tandem nurse are afraid that their baby will wean, that their toddler will wean. That isn't as common. They may decrease the frequency, but again, breastfeeding is so much more than food. So they're still going to want this as comfort and closeness as much as any time. And so if you're up for that, it's a great way to continue to, take care of your toddler that way. But nursing aversion sucks. And it's we think it's related to hormones. We don't really understand a lot about it. But it is the feeling that you want to explode and run through a wall and throw your child across the room all at once.
We have an episode on it.
We do. It can also feel like bugs are crawling all around on your skin. Like the heebie-jeebies is what a lot of people describe it as.
Yeah.
And it is terrible, and it goes away when you unlatch your child. So it's also a good time where you can start working on boundaries and just kind of trying to get that sorted out before the baby gets here, because once the baby's here, it's going to be nice to be able to have a toddler who understands, like, I need a minute. Understanding from a toddler is that might be an oxymoron.
Yeah.
And we have an episode on boundaries too. Boundaries are so hard. We've been talking about that a lot lately. It's just really hard. They are not happy about it. But you're not doing anything wrong. You're working with them to, start to recognize you as a person who needs control of their body.
I wanted to say something real quick about the nursing aversion. Yes. One of the reasons why there's some research been done on this, Mel Morin's, who we did the interview with or Abby did the interview with that episode. One of the reasons why they think it is hormonal is because some people get it just when they get their period while they're breastfeeding too. Like it is like a hormonal reaction. They think it's a hormonal reaction, something happening hormonally. So then when you're pregnant, we know there's lots of hormone stuff going on with that too.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. So it might take you by surprise.
It took me by surprise. I mean, I was sitting in the chair that I always sit in to nurse, and it literally just came over me in that moment. It just came over me. And it's so disturbing. I mean, the feeling is just awful. And I immediately thought, I mean, I had already had this, like, the badass breastfeeder community and all this, and was really involved in breastfeeding. And so I had heard of this. And as soon as that feeling came over me, I went, this must be nursing aversion. This has to be what they're talking about. And I continued to struggle with that until they weaned. It was years. So yeah, that sucks. I don't have anything else to say about that.
But if you feel it, you're not alone.
Yeah, no.
She's got Mel Morin's has like Facebook pages dedicated to it and everything. You can find a community that's also struggling. Yeah.
There is like a little, like a Facebook group for it where people try different things. I mean, you can try, people will say you have to, you want, I mean, the things that make it worse are all the things that we say make things worse. Being tired, being dehydrated, not having enough, food, all these things that we know increase the feelings of pretty much any negative feeling, right? But those are all the feelings that are like really consistent with being pregnant and having a toddler, like being tired and not taking care of yourself. And it can also say, I mean, maybe it was, worse. It's worse at certain times of the day than it is at other times of the day. But I don't know. I mean, you could drink all the water in the world if you want, and I really don't think that would have taken it away. It's uncontrollable. Let's see. I had an article that I had pulled up, and then I just closed it because I'm an idiot. So I don't know where that went. Do you have anything to say while I poke around here?
Yes, I do. Okay. So nursing when pregnant, when you're this is a time too where a lot of people go into this, and I know Abby did too, where you were like, I want a tandem feed, so I'm going to nurse during this pregnancy. And I think it's really important to remember that things can come up. The nursing aversion can come up, and sometimes that's enough to make people not nurse during pregnancy. The tenderness of the nipples. I've had people definitely wean their toddler during pregnancy because it was so painful to nurse their baby during pregnancy because of the tenderness that is happening too. So it's okay if you kind of feel like that. But I think it's important to know going into it that if you want to, tandem feed and you're breastfeeding through pregnancy, there might be some things that you need to work through during the pregnancy. It's not just like, okay, our breastfeeding relationship is going really well. I'm breastfeeding this toddler. Everything's fine. Now I'm pregnant. It's just going to continue on to be fine, because you might hit some road bumps, and people get through it because a lot of people tandem feed. A lot of people do it. So you can definitely get through it with no problem, but you might find that you might have some pain. You might have some tenderness. You might not feel as comfortable. And that's all really normal stuff.
It is really normal stuff. And if you feel like weaning and you're just like, I can't do this, then just do it. It's actually a really good time. Like, it's actually a really good time to wean if you want to, because you will have less milk. And your toddler at this time, in my experience, will just nurse less.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they might increase. This is a good time to do in like the second trimester, because in my experience, in the third trimester, they know something's about to happen and they'll start increasing their nursing again, just as a way of self-soothing. Again, breastfeeding is self-soothing. So if you want to wean, do it while they're not nursing so much. Also, a lot of people will wean and then they have the baby, and then the toddler, either the parent or the toddler, wants to nurse again. And people ask that question a lot. Like, my child is weaned, but can I nurse them again, even though they're weaned? Absolutely. Yeah, you can totally do that. A lot of times, depending on how old they are, they might forget how to latch, but you can help them with that. They might remember, and they might come back on, really, really enthusiastically.
Mm-hmm. Which might be really helpful during that milk coming in time when you feel a little bit full and engorged, and it's more milk than what your newborn can handle.
Yes. And I was just going to say something and I forgot.
Did you find your thing?
I did. Some of these are for breastfeeding while pregnant, which we'll get to when we're doing that episode. So I don't want to do too much of that.
Oh, you mean tandem feeding?
Tandem feeding, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we'll do another episode. We're going to do another episode. So if you actually do have questions about tandem nursing, let us know. Yeah. Because we can answer that in the episode. But crap, I was going to say something about breastfeeding while pregnant towards the end. Oh, yes. Breastfeeding while you are in labor is
that would be helpful.
It is helpful. Can be helpful. Some people find it helpful to nurse because it's, releasing these hormones and can move things along, or at least be a little soothing. So if you want to do that while you're nursing or while you're in labor, you can do that. If your child will stay by you. My child was like, get me away from that monster. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything else.
Oh, I think we've
did I answer all the questions?
I think so. I think the biggest ones are, is it safe? And is it safe? I think that's one of the biggest questions, because there's so much stuff out there that says it's not. And even if it's kind of one of those things where you might have family members that are like, you're still breastfeeding? I don't know if that's safe. And then that sits in your head, it's totally safe. It's totally okay for you to do. And I think we beat that to death in the beginning of this episode, but I just wanted to end on that you're okay. It's okay.
Yeah. And your doctor is wrong. If your doctor has told you that you caused a miscarriage, it is absolutely
right. There's no science behind that.
That is absolutely not the case.
Yeah.
So let us know if you have any questions, and thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.